Hi there, it's Madison James here, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm very passionate about spreading awareness for breast cancer patients, breast cancer families that are going through it. But like I always say, breast cancer is 365 days of the year. These families and women go through it all year long, so it's not just 1 month. We bring awareness to it, but hopefully you will continue to support those that need your support. And by doing that, we partnered with Carolina Breast Friends right here in Charlotte. I'm so excited about this newfound partnership and amazing women I've got a chance to talk to. And I'm talking right now with Charmaine Tyson, who is with Carolina Breast Friends. How are you, girl?
I'm doing well. How are you, Madison?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited that you're back again, where you're going to share some more information for us real quick. Charmaine was featured last year, but the cool part about it, she's talking more about her role at Carolina Breast Friends. Can you share your journey and story and how you got connected with Carolina Breast Friends?
Absolutely. It all began 11 years ago in 2013 when I first initially got diagnosed with breast cancer. Regular routine mammogram followed by ultrasound. After the technicians came in and told me, you have breast cancer. It took me by surprise. No history on either side of my family. So, of course, I was devastated. With that, I also was sent for a biopsy. So that's how they will be able to tell you what stage you were at that point, because very naive to the situation. I couldn't believe that it was happening to me because, I hear about it, but until it hit home, it hit different. I didn't know anyone near and dear to me. So I pretty much felt alone after this whole initial diagnosis. Did talk about it with my family and friends. Of course, they were devastated as well. They supported me from near and far, but it became very overwhelming. I didn't know what to do. I was overwhelmed by questions that family and friends, were concerned about. I mean, they meant well, but, still, they were giving me advice. They kept asking me, questions that I couldn't really understand myself. I was still trying to figure it out. Going to the internet scared me half to death. So when all of that, phone calls started coming in, and then one of my first phone calls was from a nurse navigator. So I didn't know what her role was, but to come to find out, she was like the tool that I needed.
Exactly.
So, we scheduled an appointment for her, for us to meet. She asked me to bring family members so they could be my ears because, things I might not consume because of everything was about to happen. But, she was a lifesaver, my nurse navigator. So all my doctors are through Novant, the healthcare system. And my nurse navigator was Vicki Davidson and also Amy Rivers. And both of those ladies are still instrumental in my life to this day. And with them, they provided me with this big book of, everything I needed to know about the journey that I was about to face. And then the most crucial thing that I received was this pamphlet. And at the time, it was in a comfort bag like we give out now, but it was a pamphlet. And she advised me to call Carolina Breast Friends. Didn't know what to expect. Fast forward, she bombarded me with all these appointments of specialists that, that was going to call me in regards to how we're going to handle my journey. But before all of that, I said, you know what, let me just take this pamphlet and just walk on in. Back then we didn't need an appointment. I was passing. And then when I passed, and we are located off of East Morehead Street, I was like, oh, I used to see this place. I didn't know what it was. The Pink House. What is that? But here I am. And when I walked through these doors, I had a sigh of relief because of the nurse navigator. I met women who were also diagnosed like myself, newly diagnosed, that was already on the journey. We also had ladies that survived it years on out. And I no longer felt alone. Now, this was a sorority or girls club I didn't want to belong to, but it was one that was very inspiring and encouraging. I felt the love. I felt no longer overwhelmed. And just hearing about the programs we had to offer here at Carolina Breast Friends, support groups, the mentorship program, and all the programs we had to help, educational, nutritional. And then, from there, I just took one day at a time. And I called my nurse navigator, Vicki Davidson, and said, I thank you. I love you for it, because this was the best resource that anyone who was newly diagnosed could have received.
A question about like nurse navigators, because some people know about nurse navigators and some people really don't quite understand exactly what it is. So, as someone who went through it, can you
Mhm.
kind of give like what to expect once you talk with your nurse navigator? Like people may not know, you can ask them questions, or vice versa. What does that really like look like when you start and how long are you with your nurse navigator?
As long as you want it. And here I am 11 years out, and I'm still with my nurse navigator. Because even though I survived my journey, there's things every day that change all the time. So if I'm uncertain of anything, so your nurse navigator initially is assigned to you. Once it comes back with the medical team, a nurse navigator is assigned to a newly diagnosed thriver. The nurse navigator is there to answer any questions that you might have in regards to the type of doctors. What's the next step? Let you get a better understanding if you have to do chemo. She will break it down for you so you can understand what you're about to face. Because, of course, when you see your records in your mind chart, if they have that, or if your medical oncologist or your surgeons talk to you, you really don't quite understand what they're saying. So, nurse navigators are to break it down, to help you explain what's what. She overgoes if you have to go through chemo, what are some of the side effects. If you have to go through radiation, she will tell you what to expect. She's the go-to person on describing what why you have in each test. You have to see a certain specialist, why you're going to do it. If you need financial assistance, she's able to help you with that. If you need anything else other than like any kind of wellness sessions, like acupuncture, anything to help navigate to make your journey as comfortable as possible. It's bad enough one has to deal with a lot alone, and we don't really know what to do. So the nurse navigator, just like the navigation system in your car, is to
Mm-hmm.
direct you on the right path.
And you're still close to your nurse navigator, because some people may think like a lot of doctors or nurses, as they go through this, like, oh, this is a person who's just going to tell me this, and then I'm going to go back, it's going to be something different. But it's the same, correct? While
Yes.
they're there, it is the same person. So this person kind of gets to know you, right? And they're looking at your charts, and they can kind of help you break down,
Yes.
here's what it's looking like in the charts. This may happen, this may not happen.
Mhm.
Any other advice that they give to as well? And how long are your sessions usually?
It's
Is
really
it
not
over the phone? Is it
It's over the
virtual?
phone. It could be in person. It depends on, where you are on your journey. So like most of the nurse navigators that I know of, like they know everything about their new patients that they are referred to. So like say if I'm going in next week for my first chemo treatment, your nurse navigator will be there to visit you and
Oh,
talk
that's
to you.
awesome.
The nurse navigators I know, that's what they do. They are there with you throughout your whole journey. Now you use them the way you want to use them. So they are always available to you, whether it's through email, phone call, a visit. If you want them to come visit you, they will. If you want to set up a separate appointment, there's nurse navigators that also make arrangements as far as like if they need to do genetic testing. So it's on you on how you want to use them. And then there are ladies that got through their journeys, through chemo, radiation, surgeries, and much more, went into remission, rang that bell. Usually the nurse navigators are there with you every step of the way.
Oh, wow.
So after the fact, if you choose that, if you still have a general question, the nurse navigator will be there for you. So you will utilize your nurse navigator the way you want to use them. Now, the reason why I utilize mine so much, because since I work here at Carolina Breast Friends as the operation manager, and not only that, I'm still a 3-time metastatic breast cancer thriver. So I'm
Hmm.
constantly doing at doctor's appointments myself. If there's anything that I need that like billing, they help you with billing. They help you get connected with some of these other local nonprofit organizations that help one
Hmm.
for financial assistance. They will do everything for you. And still to this day, things has changed from 11, 8, and recently 3 years ago from when I was diagnosed. They give me updated information all the time to
I was
share
going
with
to ask
you.
you, with you 11 years in and
Mhm.
having your nurse navigator, and key point that Charmaine said, I hope everyone's kind of taking notes to it, right? You got to be your own advocate. You got to use the resources that are there for you. Now, are you allowed to change nurse navigators? Just like I know people through their journey, they change doctors because it's just not a good fit. Can you do that too? If someone's going through it, are you allowed to
You
ask
can.
for another nurse navigator? Maybe a better
You
fit
can.
for you?
You can, but I've been in this business for a minute, and there's no need to change your nurse navigator. Your nurse navigators, their role, and they always say the same thing. Their passion, they're your angels. They are.
Mm.
So I mean, it's different when it comes to a doctor, but nurse navigators, they take pride in what they do. They love what they do. They are compassionate. They treat you as if you're the only patient newly
Oh,
diagnosed.
that's awesome. That's
They get
awesome. Because that might be a concern for people as they hear that. They're wondering, am I going to get that one-on-one treatment? Because as you're going through a cancer, you're still trying to process hearing the words and the diagnosis. So I like what you call nurse navigators, but they should be called nurse angels,
yeah.
because it seems like they do breathe breath of life back into you as you're going through this very, very difficult time. Is there any other thing that, what? Quick question. Like
Yes.
back to what I was asking, 11 years. What do you notice has changed? Like in a good way, and nothing bad ever happened, but you see it from now to how it used to be. What's some cool, interesting things now that are different?
The way they are treating newly diagnosed cancer patients, as far as the treatment plan, because as years go on, there's great to say, new medicine, new, medications to make the lifespan of those that are going through it even longer. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just the way the medications, the way they administer the chemo, like they're like for in the beginning for me, they put everything all into one. But I guess through studies and things like that, they noticed that if they stretched it out, it might be a little longer process going through the journey. But they noticed that women were less sickly, the way they were administering things, they were breaking it down through weeks and months. There's new medications I haven't heard of back then, that is equivalent to what I was using and still using, but it's just getting greater and greater each year, each month, each week. Yeah. So there's ladies that I meet on a daily basis, and they are throwing new things out to me that I never even heard of before. So that's my way to, have them explain to me what it meant, because nurse navigators broke it down to them, and then I'll just go and do my own research so I could, present it to those that don't know.
And like you said, you're still in contact with your nurse navigator. You're still you're thriving. You're still going through your journey, but you're meeting women at Carolina Breast Friends who maybe their first time, but it's like really, you're in it too. You know what I mean? You're not removed from it. You're in it too. So as they share some things that they're going with, that might be questions that you can go back and ask your nurse navigator and go like, hey, I have a question about this. What are your thoughts are on this? Can you touch on real quick before we let you go? Because you're busy. You got your ladies lined up. You're a busy woman, Charmaine, at Carolina Breast Friends. Can you really talk about that partnership and what it means with Carolina Breast Friends? Is, like you said, the information, you decided to read it. You could have, there's a lot of pamphlets, there's a lot of information in that book, but something about Carolina Breast Friends spoke to you, and that's why you're a part of it. Can you share like what's different with Carolina Breast Friends? I've been to the Pink House. It's an experience.
Yes. People handle things mentally and emotionally differently, but for me, in my situation, I knew little about what I was about to face. So I took the information, and I needed to know what I could do, where I could be to help me beat this thing. There's ladies that get this information, and I don't see them until weeks into their treatments, maybe after they done went through it. And then, they always come to me when they do, whether they're just walking through the door the first time, during the treatment, or even after. For the ones that came later on, said, I wish I would have came here, first.
That's what makes Carolina Breast Friends so great, because everybody's got different journeys.
That's right.
So when people come in, you're gonna find someone that can relate to what you went through. You know, we're talking with all these amazing women, even getting a chance to talk with some women who said, you know, it wasn't until after I was done that I found Carolina Breast Friends. Doesn't mean the impact is any less.
Yeah, and then the amazing thing about us, we are here.
Yep.
And no matter when you come, I said, because regardless if you're newly diagnosed, you're going through your journey or survived it, there's always a place here for them. We have amazing programs from educational, nutritional, wellness. We still have our support groups. We have our mentoring program. So everyone has a place here at Carolina Breast Friends, even if it's a volunteering opportunity. They could have just moved from another state. They didn't have this where they were, but they want to give back. So there's so many ways that one could fit in. They could even become a mentor themselves. They could still attend the programs. And even if they might be years out from having surgery, our wellness sessions, Healing Touch, myofascial release, Reiki, all of these things they could still benefit from, because no matter what, no matter where we are on our journey, we still have constant reminders about what we've been through. So here at Carolina Breast Friends, our services are here for each and every one, whether you are a woman or a man who has.
I was going to say, yep. Because I was talking with someone, I said, you know, some people think sometimes breast cancer is only women. I go, no, men can help, and also men are also thrivers. Men are also getting diagnosed with breast cancer. So we are just so glad to be partnering with Carolina Breast Friends this year. If you want to know more, how you can volunteer, or maybe you're newly diagnosed and you don't know what to do or where to go, they can kind of help point you in the right direction and get everything kind of set up for you. So the journey is a little bit easier. Go to carolinabreastfriends.org. And then when you go there, you're going to see Charmaine's smiling face.
And you can schedule an appointment with me online, or give me a call. And then, you know, I will also navigate you into the right direction. And just know, you know, they always say I don't look like what I've been through. I'll be like, what that look like? So my job here is not just a job. It's a daily reminder for me. And this is my therapy. And it brings a smile on my face every day. If I had to work here 7 days a week, I will. Because just to know that, you know, I always tell my ladies, don't be apologetic about how you feel. It is going to be a long road ahead of you. But if you could put into your head that, you know, it's not going to last forever, and one day you will look back just like I did and say, wow, look how far I came.
And Charmaine, I love talking to you. Your spirit is amazing. She's going to be the first smiling face you see when you go to Carolina Breast Friends. Like I said, go to carolinabreastfriends.org to get more information, even volunteer. You don't have to have cancer to help out Carolina Breast Friends. So
and donate.
Yep. So they can continue to do what they're doing. And they're located right here on Moorhead Street here in Charlotte. But if you're not in Charlotte, if you're outside of Charlotte, some of the suburbs, you can still come. Okay. That's right. Thank you so much, Charmaine. Thank you.
You're welcome.